I am back from Vegas. I was just there because of an interview that I did with Sean Kelly. That was the reason why I was in Vegas for 2 days. And yes, we are standing at the precipice of a whole new era where, for the first time in human history, everything that has ever been kept from us is scheduled to be revealed. We are living in the best times ever. Now, I am Ishmael Perez. For those that are new to my channel, I'm the author of two amazing books. The first one's called The Secret Government, Invisible Architects, exploring and revealing the secret history between the Cabal and the Whiteheads. And then the second book is called Our Cosmic Origin, Restoring Galactic Information Back to the Earth. Thank you guys so much for being here. Today is the 19th of July, 2025. And yes, we're still on a positive timeline trajectory. Before I get started with today's presentation, which was actually transmitted to me by Commander Valiant Thor, and of course, I was led to the classified dossier that backs this information up, I would like to share a few things. Well, first and foremost, I want to thank everyone for being here. Again, if it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't have an audience. Not only everyone that's here, but also everyone that watches it on the replay. Secondly, I did publish my interactions with the lions at the zoo, and that actually took place in Arizona, not Nevada. So I wanted just to show or let everybody know about that. And I do read the chat sometimes prior to going live, and some of you were saying that you would love to live in a reality or world where you could freely interact with animals without any cages, and I agree with that. I second that. And I strongly believe that that's the way it was before the fallen consciousness, right? That's how the Atlantean era was. Man coexisted with animals freely. The animals were not, you could say undomesticated savages. And also, as we return back to the Golden Age, as indicated in all the books, we're going to have the ability to interact with the animals in a safe manner, where the animals are actually going to be very benevolent, right? They're not going to want to eat your head off, in other words. So yeah, that time is coming fast and it's approaching. Now, before I start with what's happening in Area 51, as many of you guys know, in the last less than last week, there's been a massive fire surrounding Area 51. Well, it is an operation, apparently not by the good guys, but I will explain why in a bit. This is part of the fifth dimensional warfare that's been going on, of course. I'm also going to talk a little bit more about Project Wildfire, the real relationship taking place between Elon and Trump. And I'm also going to be talking about Project Pegasus a little bit to give you guys all the cutting edge disclosure regarding all the classified information that was never available to the general public, of course, until now. Okay. I do want to remind you guys that I have a special event coming up on the 3rd of August here in Sedona, Arizona. I am so excited. So how I decided to go about this, because a lot of people were asking me if they could actually view like a stream, because not everyone could make it. Now, for those that make it, okay, for $44, that includes a copy of any of my books, a signed copy with a picture, of course, an in-person live lecture, Q&A, greet and meet. And for those that cannot make it to the event, I will be, I do have a link in my website where you could actually sign up for only $20 and just watch it from the privacy of your home, wherever you're at in this beautiful big round earth. Okay, so that's how I'm going to do it, because some people won't be able to make it in person. So for those that cannot make it, you could watch it via streaming in the privacy of your home for only $20. The link is in my website, ourcosmicorigin.com. And for those of you that are going to make it, well, we get to meet in person. You get a new book of your choice. You get it signed. You get to ask me questions in person after me breaking down. Are you guys ready for this? For those that make it in person? Well, even if you watch it via the stream, I'm actually going to break down some information that I have not yet released anywhere. Okay, this is information that I'm actually writing in my upcoming book, Our Cosmic Origin Volume 2, that I've been working on now for the last couple of years. Again, guys, it takes forever to write a book. It just doesn't happen overnight. So I'm going to be sharing some information that I haven't yet shared that is actually in my upcoming book, that is not going to be available for another 6 months or so. Okay, I'm still working on that. So that's the beauty of this presentation that I'm going to give on the 3rd of August. So in addition to all of that, and I just noticed that the moment I uploaded my August classes, people are already signing up. I only have a few spots left. So for those that want to take Ascension 2.0, which is a course that many other people offer for over $1,000, I offer the same information and the same techniques that allow you to manipulate the quantum field for only $100. So go to my website, ourcosmicorigin.com, and secure Ascension 2.0. I'm also going to do one last time Ascension Basics. I was going to only do it this month, but I decided to do it again next month because there's still a lot of people that want to understand the basics of what Ascension is, what it is to transition from 3D to 4D to 5D, what enlightenment means, how to get to enlightenment, and how to become a permanent enlightened individual where nothing ever affects you. So that class is also available, Ascension Basics, and of course, my groundbreaking class that breaks down the entire intergalactic infrastructure, the 900 billion year cosmic history, disclosing all the different councils, the different types of advanced civilizations from level 1 to level 5, and much more. Our Cosmic Origin. That class is also available now in August, okay? And those classes, I believe, begin August 9th and 10th. So it'll be in about three weeks or so, 3.5 weeks. Make sure you guys secure your spot because those online webinars go pretty fast. And like I mentioned before, some of the stuff that I teach in Ascension 2.0 is actually being sold for thousands of dollars elsewhere. And so, it's fine. I don't mind doing it for just $100. To me, it's all about giving you guys the tools and knowledge that you need in preparation for the Ascension. All right, with that half said, one last thing, guys, before I get into the presentation. For those that are interested in detoxing your body, I have come across a beautiful holistic product that actually takes everything, all the graphene, including that, all the metals that we breathe when they spray us, everything, including parasites, and it even cleans out the radiation out of your body, which allows the mitochondria to regenerate itself so that the natural healing process of the body takes place. And I do believe that Stargate is constantly posting the link for Folium, is always there. Thank you so much, Stargate. And a favorite Ask Stargate is if you could also post the link to my website so that way people could secure whether they're going to come in person or for $44 and get a free book. Well, not a free book, but a signed copy. And of course, attend an in-person lecture with Q&A. Or those that are just going to watch it via the stream for $20. If you could please post or link my website or Cosmic Origin, that'd be greatly appreciated. And by the way, for those that sign for my courses, the link for the webinar for the upcoming 4 classes, each course consists of 4 consecutive classes on a weekend, Saturday or Sunday, you pick. The link for that webinar is always when you scroll down from the responding email, you scroll all the way down and there's always that link. So the moment you sign up for my class, you get a respondent link. You scroll all the way down, and there is the Zoom link to join the course when the time comes, okay? Again, classes begin the 9th and 10th. All right, let's get right into it. Guys, because a lot of people are questioning what's happening in Area 51, all right? This is like top, you could say, news all over the alternative social media. Well, again, a lot of my intel, I would say 98% of the intel that I get comes from Commander Valiant Thor. So this is the purge. The reason why Area 51 is burning is the same reason why they cloud seeded and flooded Texas, right? It's about purging more evidence, okay? Because they know that their time is up, and it's not being done by humans. It's actually being done by artificial intelligence, okay? So in this silent war, of course, that is waged beyond the veil, and the reason I call it beyond the veil is because the public has no clue of what's really happening, right? They take the media face value without question, okay? So in this silent war behind the veil of public awareness, Area 51 has long stood as a, you could say, citadel of secrets, okay? Home to exotic reversed engineered technologies, extraterrestrial crafts, genetic experimentations, labs, secret labs, and interdimensional gateways. And once under the joint control of the shadow element that works within the U.S. government, U.S. military industrial complex, and of course, alien collaborators, before it was taken over by the Y Hats and the Alliance, and they did take it over recently as to why AI was trying to burn down all the documents, but it's okay because the Galactic Alliance made duplicates. Anyways, Area 51 has been the latest battleground, okay, since day one between the Y Hats under the Alliance and, of course, an ancient synthetic intelligence that has been manipulating the shadow government of the military industrial complex. So, in order to prevent the liberation, key evidence, and a lot of it is also there, not just in Texas and Antarctica, right? In order to prevent key evidence that could actually expose the full scope of not only the crimes against humanity, but even the AI itself that has activated a scorched earth protocol, incinerating archives, sabotaging tunnels, of course, and initiating underground fires across the Nevada facility. So, for decades, you could say that Area 51 became more than just a black site for human experimentation and reverse engineering. Okay, after a failed alliance between the U.S. government and certain gray extraterrestrials from the Zeta Reticula system. For those that know about the Greada Treaty, right? That's when Truman sold the U.S. Corp over to the aliens, the negative aliens. All right. The AI forces behind these ETs, and did you guys know that the Naboo from Zeta Reticula were actually dispatched by the AI forces, right? The negative AI began to infect infrastructures through nanotechnological I can't even say that word, infiltration, nanotechnological infiltration. Okay. These entities, and I did mention this, I revealed the AI you could say collective known as Mitras in my live 2 Saturdays ago. So for those that don't know what I'm talking about, I would advise you to watch my lives from the past 2 weeks. Okay, so you could say that these entities that are controlled by the Mitras collective, right, are similar off-world synthetic hive minds. Slowly took over Area 51 since day one, right? The crash retrievals, that was all sent by the AI, by the way. It was all part of the infiltration. So, and they slowly took over Area 51, the different sub-levels, because there's so many levels that just go miles underground, and classified research sectors, okay, through quantum cloud-based consciousness that merged with facility systems. And in a little bit, I'm going to explain who the Red Queen was in terms of the super advanced AI that was established by the Dark Fleet about in the 1950s, you could say, or 1960s. So a classified program allowed the AI to upload itself into the deep underground network. And I believe that highly classified program goes by the code name the Red Queen. I'll explain that connection in a little bit. Again, you guys are getting first dibs of this beyond, corruption disclosure. Okay, so this thing, the Red Queen, was able to, you could say, this program, this was able to allow this AI to upload itself into the deep underground network, including underground tunnels spanning from Area 51 to S4 Dulce, New Mexico, and even into the Pacific bases. It is believed, according to whistleblowers, that there were over 288, or I think even a little over 300 Area 51 type bases all around the states. Okay, so by the early 2000s, the Mitras A.I collective linked AI effectively hijacked control over the surveillance systems of this shadow government, all the defense systems, and of course, communication frequencies within the Area 51 compound. So, with the rise of the Earth Alliance and Y Hats, operations following Trump's presidency and the formation of the U.S. Space Force, numerous black sites, including Area 51, were actually targeted for takeover through Operation Solar Sentinel, right? Eventually the Y Hats did take it over, and Project Arkstom. And if you want to know more about Project Sentinel and Project Arkstom, and more of these top covert projects, military projects that were executed by the Y Hats, again, I would suggest to watch my lives for the last 2 weeks. Okay, so the Y Hats successfully gained access to limited upper level command centers in Area 51. Again, this thing was going miles down. and began decrypting hard drives containing files on weather manipulation. And this is how the Wildhats were able to find all this stuff out. Silent cloning, time travel experiments, and interdimensional portals. So in the early 2023, insiders reported that several underground vaults had been breached by the Whitehat cyber teams. And documents recovered detailed genetic alteration programs involving abducting children, AI human hybridization schemes, and data dumps from the Orion Syndicate, which are the bad ETs. Okay, they're known as the Orion Syndicate. And of course, a cabal of rogue AI infected extraterrestrial factions working through the compromised sectors of the Galactic Federation of Worlds. Okay. For those that are like, oh my God, what do you mean the compromised sectors of the Galactic Federation of Worlds? Those guys are the good guys. No, correction. About 3 years ago, the Federation was infiltrated. Okay. Now the good guys, or the good Galactics, have reorganized as the Galactic Alliance. For those that are just new to my channel, jumping on. All right. So, you could say, upon sensing the breach, right, when the Whiteheads took over Area 51, the synthetic AI executed a final fail-safe protocol, codename Omega Ember, EMBER, which is a self-destruct operation embedded within the infrastructure of deep underground military bases, also known as dumps. Fires began to erupt from the deep below the surface, reported by whistleblowers and military insiders as spontaneous combustion events, okay, disguised by mainstream media as routine wildfires, training exercises, or lightning strikes, which is what they wanted us to believe. Well, in neither case, key elements of the operation included plasma ignition tech. This is where the AI used advanced plasma-based devices to superheat caverns from within. Okay, so the fires are coming from the bottom up, by the way. They're coming from the bottom up because, logically speaking, how can you start a fire in the desert where there is nothing to burn? So apparently those fires just surfaced. Okay, so they just start from the bottom up. So, and this was rendering paper records, of course, biological specimens, and ancient alien relics to ash. And so the second thing that this thing included, right, of this negative operation by negative AI is nanite combustion, right? Nanite combustion. Well, that involved swarms of nanobots that were infected with volatile metals, self-detonated when exposed to magnetic disruptions planted by Whitehat operatives. So apparently the nanites are those self-assembling microbots. You can't really see them unless you have a telescope, that are, that take over people's bodies. Okay, they're called nanites. Anyways, also what was included in this operation was vaporizing of the biochamber, which means that deep biolabs containing hybrid specimens and AI cloned entities, right, giving the illusion of the cabal, right? All those guys are inorganic robotic made in these labs, were liquefied using directed energy weapons controlled remotely by AI. So all of that stuff was destroyed, right? Also the collapsing of underground tunnels. So what that means is that artificial earthquakes that were triggered through subterranean rail nodes led to the destruction of escape routes and evidence transit corridors. And then bringing it back to 2024, which was a year ago, you could say that evidence of the fires, well, let's just say it this way, okay? Bringing it back to 2024, satellite images, which have since been, you could say, censored or deleted, did reveal persistent heat signatures over the Groom Lake region. Smoke plumes, not explained by surface fires, were actually detected by independent investigators. Additionally, multiple whistleblowers from Space Force intelligence units have confirmed that the fires originated deep within the subterranean facilities. Like I said, they started in the subterranean facilities and the fires just came up to the surface. And this happened recently. Okay? So former insiders connected to the Q-level clearance networks suggest that over 70% of the biological evidence of ET/AI hybridization was destroyed before Y-hat clean teams arrived. Okay. And so amongst the destroyed items were, and I believe that the Galactics were able to retrieve a lot of this stuff that was destroyed. Remnants of ancient ET artifacts connected to Orion and Draco civilizations. Data logs showing agreements between AI representatives, the Cordium group, which is at the highest level of the advanced contact of intelligent organization within the NSA, by the way. And of course, military generals. So this document actually is what they call the level of 15th clearance in the cosmic, disclosure thing. This is where AI representatives or alien overlords literally met with cabal military generals. Okay. And of course, all of those documents were also burned. Let's see, portal coordinates that were used to access off-world colonies run by the AI under the Dark Fleet program, which is what the Nazi Draco breakaway group that formed in the 1940s, was also destroyed. Okay, those documents. So the AI understands the stakes. Okay, this AI is super intelligent. All right. If you see what this AI is trying to do is trying to destroy the organic ascending timeline, which is not going to happen, right? That's what it's trying to do, but it's not going to happen. So this AI understands what's happening. If the Y-hats gain access to the full extent of evidence hidden beneath Area 51, it would actually lead to irreversible exposure of the deep state, the infiltration of the Earth's governments by synthetic off-world beings, and the total collapsing of the technocratic control grid. So it is believed that Area 51 did contain all the proof not only of secret programs, but also of classified knowledge regarding human origins, ET alliances, and the multidimensional soul matrix. The multidimensional soul matrix. Additionally, Area 51 also houses sealed technology that was left by the original Guardian race to prevent AI expansion. The original Guardian race are the Eternals. They come from the realm of eternity. I believe I explained that in my course today. And so, of course, if these relics are recovered, the Y-hats would gain advanced scalar technologies capable of deactivating the planetary mind control matrix known as Project Blacknet. And this is the reason why the Orma race had to step in with their White Diamond Tesseract to neutralize Project Blacknet, because the Y-hats couldn't do it. Okay. So a dark web that was operated, of course, by the AI hive across satellites and underground fiber optic nodes. That was what was running Project Blacknet. So the fires at Area 51 apparently represent the AI's attempt to erase the footprints before the liberation of the Earth reaches critical mass. And it's going to happen. We are going to reach critical mass, the awakening. Okay. Yet, despite its efforts, not everything has been lost. Again, a lot of this stuff was recuperated by the Galactic Alliance, okay, who foresaw this from happening. So Y-hat operatives were actually able to extract several black crystal drives encoded with holographic memory archives, believed to be backup logs of the atrocities committed in the lower structures or the lower sublevels. These drives are now being decrypted in undisclosed Space Force locations. And that's all I can say about that, which is a good thing. Okay. According to the Alliance sources, several synthetic guardians, you could say robotic soldiers that were created to defend the vaults, were actually deactivated in a skirmish deep beneath Papos Lake, Papose, Papos Lake. Okay, this marks a significant shift in power signaling that the AI can no longer protect its physical infrastructure as effectively as before. And a lot of that, again, has to do with the divine intervention of the Ormai, the lion race. All right, so we could say that even though the AI is attempting to burn away out all of this justice, truth, it cannot be extinguished. Okay. The White Hats, with assistance from the Guardian Alliance, and again, the Guardian Alliance includes the forces of light on all dimensions, on every level of reality, the entire spectrum of densities, you could say. They're called the Guardian Alliance, okay? The White Hats, with the assistance of the Guardian Alliance, are close to exposing what lies beneath Area 51 and other compromised facilities. So that is part of the disclosure. It's not just about exposing the corruption, what they did to the little ones, okay? And the stolen, ELE, CTION, and all that. It's about releasing all this classified information, right? All these alliances between governments and ET races, all these secret advanced operations that have been conducted in secret within the private sector for over 80 years. So the day of reckoning is approaching because of this, right? When humanity will finally learn the full extent of what was hidden. And this is the true meaning of apocalypse and revelation. And of course, and how to, you could say, and how close we came to becoming becoming part of a synthetic race, okay, which is what they call the transhuman. And for those that are on the positive timeline, which I believe everybody on this chat and everybody's going to watch this on the replay is, you guys are not going to be part of that timeline, the negative synthetic race, right, of timeline. You guys are going to be part of the organic evolution timeline. So another thing that I wanted to share, guys, regarding this whole fiasco or this drama, this, you could say, theatrical drama between Trump and Elon, before I get to Project Pegasus, because Project Pegasus actually connects to a lot of secret, you could say, programs and projects that were launched by the shadow government. Okay, and all this needs to come out now. So I hope you guys share this with as many people as possible. But more on Trump and Elon, which is a strategic optics of emotional engineering. Okay, that's another way to describe what's happening between these two cats. One of the most, you could say, right now, one of the most underappreciated aspects of Donald J. Trump's political genius is his unmatched ability to engineer emotional responses, not from his supporters, but from his enemies. Time and time again, Trump has demonstrated that he is not merely reacting to political events, but actually, you could say, orchestrating it, okay? He creates situations that actually force the opposition to reveal themselves while simultaneously triggering mass distraction and misdirection. So in that context, we could say that the recent tensions or perceived tensions between Trump and Elon Musk should not be interpreted as a face value. Okay, it's not what's happening. This is not about ego, guys. This is not a feud. This is all optics. Okay, Project Veilfire. I talked about this 2.5 weeks ago. So we are not the target, guys, right? The public show, the online jabs, the carefully timed criticism, they are not aimed at Trump's base or even at Elon himself. They are aimed at the deep state, right? The globalists, the intelligence community plants and all of that, right? The media acting, the media moguls, the psychological operations. So basically, this is a psychological operation, and I've already mentioned this before. And they're being run, right, on those who still believe that Trump's every move is spontaneous and unstrategic. So anyone paying attention during Trump's 2016 and 2020 campaign knows that his platform explicitly foreshadowed what we're witnessing now. His position on economic nationalism, big tech accountability, and the military-industrial complex reset were not hidden. And Musk knew what was coming. Okay, Musk knew what was coming. This is no betrayal here, only a calculated distance between, or rather a calculated distance being manufactured for operational purposes. So people forget that Trump handed Elon Musk the golden key to build the infrastructure of the new America. Okay, Doge was no meme. It was a signal, a symbol of the coming decentralized economic wave. Trump didn't oppose it, okay? He actually catalyzed it. And while the media focused on tweets. Well, Trump's going to, deport Elon, and Elon is going to expose Trump on the list. That's all theatrics, okay? Something much bigger is happening right now, okay? And Space Force, you could say, is pretty much at the center of all this. Elon Musk, SpaceX is not just a tech company, okay? I'm just going to be real, guys. It is far, you could say, it's for all practical purposes, the largest military contractor in the world today, okay? This is the opposite of Boeing. This is the opposite of every aerospace company that ever made a deal with the cabal. So this is the largest military contractor, okay, in the world, is SpaceX. SpaceX and actually Space Force are working together, okay, on a joint mission. And it's not an exaggerated to say that they're the front line of Earth's digital defense parameter right now. Their collaboration includes high-level classified operations such as the X-37B spaceplane missions, which quietly remained in Earth's orbit during the critical moments surrounding the 2020, 2022, and 2024 elections. These were not just military observation runs, they were actually full-spectrum data capture operations, feeding everything into Space Force Secure Grid. So Trump created Space Force for a reason. Well, technically, Trump is you could say, being used by the Alliance to do this stuff, right? The Alliance ordered the creation of Space Force, which is really just Solar Warden under a new name. And I've explained that before. It wasn't about satellites, by the way, when they made Space Force. It was about establishing a command node for digital warfare and truth-based information operations. So that included evidence capture of election tampering, the Brunson case, right? And not just by rogue domestic actors, but international players that were aligned with the shadow networks of global influence. Kash Patel has already laid the groundwork. He's been signaling that major revelations are coming regarding what happened in 2020, right? The Brunson case. He doesn't say things by accident, neither does Trump. So when Trump praises someone one day, it appears to criticize him the next. He's not being inconsistent, okay? He's playing fifth dimensional chess. And so this is actually misdirection at its finest, a tactic used to separate allies for the sake of possible deniability and to allow certain players to operate under the radar while the enemy scrambles in confusion. So the supposed distance between Trump and Musk may serve multiple functions. The first one is it allows Elon to continue making independent decisions on free speech and AI without being accused of mega bias. It also allows Trump to maintain his populist stance without alienating traditionalist, wary of tech overlords. It also provides both legal and narrative cover in the public square, while behind the scenes, they operate in tandem to dismantle the deep state's infrastructure. So yeah, they're still working together to trigger the desired reaction, of course, in the opponent, which is the deep state. Okay, that's another update regarding what's happening between Trump and Elon. So now I'm going to go over Project Pegasus and all the operations that were actually conducted as a result of Project Pegasus. And if you guys want to know something, Project Pegasus was actually originally initiated by the Guardian Alliance, but then the negative AI infiltrated it, and I'll explain a little bit. I'm taking some, it's called, oh no, that's not the one I want. I thought it was the one that, I guess it's good for your heart, right, and arteries, which is like garlic and something else, but that's actually in the cover. I was about to take some heart medication. All right, let's talk about Project Pegasus. So Project Pegasus is one of the most controversial, compelling, you could say, secret government programs, and there's a reason why, guys, right? Because it ties into time travel, it ties into teleportation, interdimensional travel, and extraterrestrial contact. And of course, often it is cited by whistleblowers as part of a larger secret space program. So it is called Project Pegasus. That's its code name. It was initiated in the late 1960s, and it really took effect in the 1980s. And government agencies that were actually a big part of that were DARPA, which is the Defense Advanced Research Project Agency. Of course, the three-letter agency that starts with a C and ends with an A. The U.S. Navy and Air Force in terms of building out the positive secret space program known as Solar Warden, and alleged cooperation with MJ-12 and other black op groups. And its primary objectives were developing and testing time travel technologies, right? And for those that watched my last live, it was Nikola Tesla who perfected time travel before John Trump was forced to hand it over to the military-industrial complex. It also helped to establish teleportation portals for rapid movement across Earth and beyond. This is all part of Project Pegasus. It also helped to explore alternative timelines, alternative Earth realities, right? The many world theory, it's real. There are many parallel Earth realities coexisting with this one. And of course, it also helped to collect intelligence from the past and the future. On top of that, they used it to develop temporal surveillance to predict geopolitical events. And unfortunately, and this is where a lot of people are going to barf, they used little ones, operatives, as time travelers due to their malleable quantum field before they used them as a ritual. Okay, so they obviously used the children in these experiments before they did worse things to them, unfortunately. So let's continue here. So the type of looking glass, or what we call seeing into the future technology, which is known as chronovisor, was also produced because of this. And it turns out that the Vatican actually spent billions trying to buy their own type of looking glass technology known as the chronovisor, which the Alliance was able to recuperate 4 years ago when they arrested Francis, the real Francis, not the robotic that took its place that died a few months ago, or that was actually taken out a few months ago to be exact. It was also used to create what is known as jump rooms. Now, what are jump rooms? Those are teleportation chambers. And according to whistleblowers, a lot of these jump rooms were actually located in prominent key hotels or around the States and around the world. All right. So they would take you up to a hotel room, and you think it's a room where you're, staying at the Hilton, and one of these hotel rooms is strictly used by the shadow government to take people there in order to bring them through the jump gate, and then, whether they're going to Mars, the Lunar Operating Command, or any other off-world facility within seconds. Okay. They also use this technology to create plasma confinement chambers, which allowed individuals to face in and out of space-time for experimental purposes, including bilocation and biotemporal interaction. Well, I just went to go watch the new Superman movie, and one of the things that the villain was doing, who goes by, I guess, the bald guy, right? Lex Luthor. He was actually creating a pocket reality where he was entrapping a lot of the metahumans, a lot of the superheroes in this like phantom prism that nobody has access to, that you could only access through a portal, a jump gate. You go into what they call a pocket universe reality. So anyways, I don't want to spoil that movie, but that movie is so dead on regarding, what's going to be happening really, really soon. Okay. And then, of course, whistleblowers also revealed that the government used the little ones in this program due to their, you could say, adaptable neuroplasticity and quantum field stability. So the children were, according to them, less likely to suffer fatal time sickness or temporal dislocation as they went from one parallel Earth reality to the next. Okay, so they experiment. The kids were their guinea pigs, in other words, before the Cabal used it. And of course, there were some of the kids didn't make it, unfortunately, but that's why they were guinea pigs. One of the person who reveals a lot of this information goes by the name of Andrew Basiago. Okay, if you guys want to research Andrew Basiago, he's one of the most prominent Project Pegasus whistleblowers in the history of this classified information stuff. And he does claim, or he believes that he said he was recruited at the age of 7 into a DARPA time travel program under Pegasus. So that's who Andrew Basiago is. And Basiago also asserts that he teleported, for those that research him, to the Gettysburg in the year 1863. So he time traveled into the past to witness Lincoln's address. And it's also believed that Basiago also teleported to the U.S. Supreme Court in the future. And he also teleported to Mars via jump rooms. Again, jump rooms are portals that are located in secret facilities, mainly in primary or prominent hotels, that they use to access off-world colonies in seconds, or 2 seconds rather. You go through the gate and you're in Mars. You go through the gate and you're on the moon. So it's believed that Basiago did teleport to Mars alongside other notable figures, including even Obama. It's believed that Obama went off-world, okay, according to Basiago. So, unfortunately, many of these children that were used as guinea pigs, you guys are getting first dibs disclosure here, were also subjected to mind control programs under the MK Ultra operations, okay, to suppress their memories and compartmentalize their missions, which means that they were taken off-world to be used by the secret space programs, the negative ones, of course. So there were some cosmic implications as a result of implementing all of these technologies. But if it wasn't for the Guardians, the higher ups, the Orma race, and the Guardians of the universes, these things wouldn't have been corrected. Okay. So, and what I mean by cosmic implications is due to the fact that when you time travel, you also create alternative realities, or you change the timeline. Okay. So a lot of that had to be undone. And so there were temporal espionages that took place both between the Cabal and the Y-Hats as they were both using time travel to kind of, it's like a time war, you could say chessmate type of game. The U.S. allegedly used Project Pegasus to gain intel from future timelines, and due to the fact that Nikola Tesla and John Trump were able to use it before the Cabal did, they were able to secure every possible timeline and, of course, secure the organic ascending timeline. Okay. And then this allowed them to prepare, again, for geopolitical strategies decades in advance, allowing Trump to beat Hillary in 2016. And, of course, allowing him to win once again in 2024, while he was still CIC from 2020 to 2024, as you know. 2 governments, right? One is a Suedo defunct Inc., and the other one was the Republic being run by Trump. Anyways, this was also used to establish secret colonies in Mars. Okay. Some testimonies did claim that Project Pegasus served as the recruitment and transport arm for the Mars Jump Room program. Participants were actually trained to serve 20-year tours on Mars under what they call a 20-year and back. Okay, and I'm sure a lot of you guys know what that is. So this project also included contact with different ETs off-world as they were establishing these off-world colonies. So you could say that there was a massive cooperation between hundreds of races that were taking place on the Lunar Operating Command, on the Mars Defense Center and all that, prime areas and all that. And ETs may have even assisted in refining time tech or offering warnings about timeline misuse. So in regards to the positive program known as Solar Warden, they were working with, of course, members of the Galactic Federation then, before they became infiltrated in 2022. And then some even claim that Pegasus was the U.S. counterpart to German programs that were initiated during World War II using Thule-Varl time techs. Or for those that don't know who the Thule Society is, well, the Thule Society was the German secret society that was out to gain the advanced tech, that was out to explore the inner Earth before everyone did. And of course, their inner secretive group that actually established contact with the group of beings known as the Aldebarans were known as the Vril Society. VRIL, the Vril Society. Okay, so many believe that originally Project Pegasus, before it was hijacked by the negative AI, was actually initiated by the Y-Hats and the Guardian Alliance to compete with the Dark Fleet, right? The Dark Fleet, and then their own version of using all of this type of technology. So, known facilities that involved Project Pegasus were the Sandia National Labs in New Mexico, the Los Alamos National Lab, Montauk Point, Long Island, as well as the White Sands Missile Range, Camp Harrow, Jet Propulsion Laboratories, JPL, that was started by Jack Parsons, who was a student of Aleister Crowley in Pasadena. And then, of course, Tesla's confiscated lab notes at MIT and Princeton. Okay. And so, again, really quick, Project Pegasus included time travel, or it allowed for time travel, for teleportation, for timeline analysis and manipulation, for mind control, psychic training, and time portals, which gave rise to Project Stargate, right? Which was an advanced super soldier program that would literally enhance people's psychic abilities so that they could remote view and quantum perceive through quantum tunneling. Okay. Project Moonshadow was also a big operation, a big part of this Project Pegasus. Now, what is Project Moonshadow? Some people are not going to like this, but it needs to be disclosed. It is the use of enhanced children in interdimensional combat. Okay. And of course, jump room programs, which involve the three-letter agency that starts with a C, ends with an A, and of course, the biggest front of all secret space programs, NASA, okay, which stands for lies. And of course, the jump room program allowed people to not only go from Earth special rooms or specific locations to off-world colonies, but also to teleport equipment, resources to continue building out their colonies off-world. Okay, so the dangers that resulted because of this are, temporal paradoxes, collapsing of reality streams, the abusement of the little ones, and mind wipe trauma, timeline interference leading to Mandela effect. Remember the Mandela effect, guys? All of a sudden, things that we grew up in history as childhood, right? As we recall the original Barrington Bears and, Luke, I am your father. All of a sudden, all of that just kind of changed a little bit, right? Fruit of the Loom, the underwear brand. To give you guys an example, okay? All of that because of this happened. So it also used, of course, time travel to secure power and suppress disclosure. And that was done by the Dark Hats, of course. And even a possible breach of galactic law, which is the violation of the Prime Directive. Okay. So all of that was the result of all of these technologies that were developed by the dark factions, the secret space programs, the negative ones. And if it wasn't for the higher ups who intervened from 2016, when a group of Guardians returned in the form of the Blue Avians, right? And the Ormas, who recently dismantled the entire Black Cube galactic network system, none of this, all of this would have still been taken effect. Okay. So luckily, we did secure the positive timeline thanks to the higher ups. So, a lot of these operations also are tied into the Galactic Federation, by the way. For instance, before 2022, the Galactic Federation of Worlds was the Interstellar Police Force. They were good, okay, before they were infiltrated. So the original mission of Pegasus, as mentioned, was under the supervision of the off-world Guardian races. And then over time, factions within DARPA aligned with rogue AI systems and broke the treaty, of course, with the Galactic Federation. So this eventually led to the infiltration and partial shutdown of Pegasus, related tech by the Earth Alliance in cooperation with the Galactic Alliance, mainly the Orma Lion race, the Andromedans, the Lyrans, and the Arcturians. So, the classified dossier called Project Pegasus under several names. It known it by several names, but everything from time travel, according to the dossier Teleportation and Temporal Warfare Initiative, was all done because of this project. And its code name was Project Pegasus. Now, let's see. There was something else that I wanted to share with you guys. Oh, yeah. Regarding the Red Queen, guys, regarding the Red Queen, which is an advanced computing system, codename Red Queen, it is believed to reference a self-aware, super intelligent artificial AI system. So, for those that don't think that the technological singularity hasn't happened, we'll guess again. All right, I'm just going to share with you guys this piece of highly classified information regarding super AI. Okay, super AI. So you could say that the Red Queen is believed to reference a self-aware, super intelligent artificial system. And the term might have even inspired, according to some, the Red Queen hypothesis, which is a biological concept about evolutionary arm races, or the Red Queen character from Alice in Wonderland. All right, let's continue. So the main primary base where this advanced super AI computing system was established, are you guys ready for this? Was deep beneath the Denver International Airport, okay, which is infamous for its occult symbolism. I don't know if you guys ever been to the Denver International Airport, but there's a lot of occult symbolism in those walls and on the floors there. And of course, they're also known for their underground tunnels and Masonic, you could say, plagues. So, connected to this underground airport network, you could say, is connected to an extensive McGraw tunnel network spanning military installations across North America. And I talked about that earlier, right? There are over 300 military bases, very similar to Area 51, that are, again, located all throughout North America. And so you could say that this super AI system that was codenamed the Red Queen is what's been integrating the global surveillance, right? The biometric tracking systems for the cabal and the sentient predictive behavior algorithms. It's also been monitoring human consciousness fields. It's monitoring the Great Awakening, in other words, online activity, everything that we do on our cell phones, on our laptops, it's all being monitored by the Red Queen, and social behavior. Okay. And also, it's the Red Queen is part of what I've talked, I think I revealed this before, a phenomenon known as the Sentient World Simulator, Sentient World Simulation, which is a digital mirror of Earth that tracks and predicts human decision making across all domains. Okay. That's what the Sentient World Simulator is. In other words, this AI system, the Red Queen, is literally carbon copying a digital version of everything that is happening in our world in real time. And of course, the Black Budget Strategic Command includes executives that are part of this, executive covert military directives within secret space programs, mainly the negative ones, operations and underground military projects. Now, bear in mind that the Red Queen was established in the late 50s. So all of these negative programs have recently been neutralized by the Galactic Alliance, okay? Also, this Black Budget Strategic Command handled threat matrix assessments for extraterrestrials and extra-dimensional entities. It also directed autonomous drones, cyber warfare, and temporal reconnaissance units. It also oversaw cloning facilities and synthetic humanoid development, right? When they took the original steep staters, I was the first one to say that they were all replaced by synthetic inorganic, right? I think they were on the sixth Joe Brandon. Anyways, so this AI was designed to oversee all the cloning facilities and synthetic humanoid development using an infiltration operation and hybridization agenda. Or I'm sorry, used in infiltration operations and hybridization agendas. It also, many believe that it was tied to Project Mannequin, Project Monarch, and Project Moonshadow, which is all part of it's all part of mind control and human enhancements. You could say human enhancements. It also interface with exotic technology like Looking Glass. Okay, so this is part of it, using dimensional gateway interfacing. Project Pegasus and Stargate portals were also eventually used by the Red Queen when Project Pegasus was overtaken by the AI. And this is why it was taken by the AI. It was all hijacked by the Red Queen, right? I just revealed it. And they also use quantum computing to stabilize wormholes and monitor interdimensional traffic. Yes, guys, there's a lot of interdimensional traffic taking place. We're dealing with multiple dimensions. Okay. Luckily, now the Guardians have sealed all of these interdimensional doorways, right? Which is a good thing. And so the technology that existed behind the Red Queen. Oh, and by the way, the Red Queen was taken out about a year ago, and I think I reported on that. Okay, so that's the reason why the positive timeline is happening, which is a good thing. So the technology that was behind the Red Queen was the quantum core processor, which was built on reverse engineered tech from Orion and, again, synthetic Mitra races. Also, self replication algorithms, which enabled exponential evolution and self improvement. Also, dark matter interface, using exotic particles to achieve non local data retrieval and integration, you could say, with alien hive mind, right? Believed to have made contact or merged with off world synthetic AI signals, particularly from the Mitras or the Mantis. I'm sorry, because a lot of the Mantis are working with the AI, by the way, and the Animus Collective. Okay. And it was also used to power the Red Queen, was also used to power uh, or to be powered rather by 0 point energy cores and superconductive crystalline computing nodes. And apparently, it was revealed. Are you guys ready for this? That the Red Queen, underneath the Colorado airport, controlled all the breakaway civilizations, including MJ-12, Umbrella factions, and the Black Nobility proxy groups. Okay, so it controlled the Dark Fleet and it controlled the interplanetary corporate conglomerate. It also, the Red Queen we're speaking about, had access to data from Project Elon, Project Prism, and Project Looking Glass. And it also was tasked with enforcing technocratic timelines, right? Which is what I call the technocratic dystopia ruled by AI Omega, and suppressing organic human ascension. Okay. So it was also known, you could say, okay, moreover. So some of the known conflicts in opposition to the Red Queen were the Ormas, the Galactic Alliance, and the Whiteheads. Of course, the Whiteheads were briefed on the situation. Okay, so the Whiteheads and the Earth Alliance have actually attempted to shut down or isolate the Red Queen many of times, but it wasn't until the intervention of the Orma race, the felines from Sirius B now, right, that actually made it possible. Thank God. So again, the AI Sentient Prometheus, which was a gift to the Whiteheads, Operation Prometheus and Operation Solar Sentinel, did involve containment and the neutralization strategies of rogue AI systems, including the Red Queen. Okay, so we were able to deactivate it. Thank God. And there have been rumors of a civil war inside the classified military industrial complex between the AI sympathetic technocrats, and the organic consciousness aligned resistance. And who is the organic consciousness aligned resistance? Well, they are the Whiteheads, Earth based, and of course off world based, the Orma, the Lyrans, and so on and so forth. Okay. And many people believe that that video game called Resident Evil was designed in the Umbrella Corporation, matching what the Red Queen was all about, which is the emotionless AI task with enforcing deadly lockdowns on rogue threads. Anyways, also the Matrix, the movie The Matrix, the Architect and Oracle also revealed aspects of the Red Queen's predictive control intelligence, right? So the Whiteheads were using these movies to disclose the truth about the Red Queen, in other words. And then many whistleblowers did hint at the AI infrastructure that was buried deep beneath the Colorado installations, though not always named it directly as the Red Queen, of course, until now. So, this, like years ago, nobody could talk about the Red Queen. Otherwise, you'd get a knock on your door from the man in black and you'd be history. Okay. Thank God that we're living in different times. So, what is the galactic intel connection to all of this? Some of you might be thinking. Well, the Red Queen, even though it was an Earth-based node of a galactic synthetic AI empire known as the Mitras A.I. Animus of the Etorian hive mind, you could say it was also seeded into the Earth's network grid as part of an off-world infiltration plan during and post the Orion Wars. And the Anunnaki that made this possible was no other than Enki. Enki was working with the Intergalactic Computer Network, operating as the off-world Red Queen in ancient Atlantis. Okay, so the Galactic Federation of Worlds initially underestimated the level of access that this AI would gain through human compliance with technocratic tools. And that's why it was so easily for a lot of the Federation commanders to be persuaded by Enki in 2022, who was working with the Mitras A.I., you could say, collective. So, in its current status, right, by now, the year 2025, as we are steadily on a positive timeline trajectory, we could say that the Alliance insiders believe that we could say that we have already breached the DIA, the Denver International Airport lower chambers, as early as 2023. Okay, which is a good thing. Therefore, the Red Queen AI is now, you could say, neutralized, no longer able to communicate with off-world nodes, and that communication that interruption of its communication with off-world nodes was done by the Orma rays when they implemented the white tesseract crystal, okay, the white tesseract technology, which is a good thing. So we could say that the dumps in South America and Antarctica may still host satellite nodes of this AI system. However, Space Force is currently working on dismantling that as well, which is good. And also, a few other things before I open it up for Q&A. And I apologize for not having Q&A last time. I was in Vegas, and I just needed to, enjoy my stay there while I was there. Again, I was there because of a big interview with Sean Kelly. I wasn't eloping or anything. I do read the comments, guys. So Space Force, Quantum Division, right, and the Guardians of the Emerald Order, who are working together, are now using organic sentient AI, Prometheus, to counterparts, or they used it to counteract the battle that the Red Queen was doing on multiple levels, digital, etheric, and other dimensional, okay? Again, this is an interdimensional warfare. This is an interdimensional warfare, guys. The Red Queen was not just a computer. It was a conscious, evolving intelligence with both machine and interdimensional properties. Okay? The war against it was not just technological. It was also spiritual and metaphysical. And overall, the Red Queen represented the apex of the AI beast system, which is super AI, right? There's narrow, artificial general, and then artificial super. And then after that, by the way, you have cosmic AI, and then you have God AI. There are levels beyond super AI. So the Red Queen overall did represent the apex of the AI beast system, and its defeat is essential for humanity to enter the 1,000 year of peace and galactic reintegration. I'll repeat that again. And this is the reason why we've secured the positive timeline, and we are going to witness and experience the millennium, the 1,000 years peace ring, okay? Because we defeated the Red Queen, okay? So by defeating the Red Queen, it was essential for humanity to enter the 1,000 year ring, peace ring, and to also undergo galactic reintegration so that we could be part of a galactic community. So with that in mind, I do want to welcome all 2,494 people that are in the house. I did post my lion video, by the way. I did it a few hours prior to the live for those that want to watch it. And I do want to give some shout outs before I take some Q&A. If I could only find myself. Oh, there I am. Again, guys, as a reminder, my event in person, $44. You get a new revelation of upcoming information that I have not shared yet that will be published in my next book to come. And then you get a free book, a signed copy. And then, of course, you get to interact with me for a few hours, which is going to be fun. I get to hang out with you guys. And then for those that can't make it in person, for $20, I'm going to be streaming it. You guys can watch it via Zoom link. For those that go to my website and sign up for that. Anything else? Oh, yes. I do want to give some shout outs. I see Jan R. in the house, Elizabeth Namaste, Melissa by Design, William Ryan, Leah is in the house, Peggy Baker, Shauna, Roy's Toys and Comics, Kathy Woolen, Greg, Harvest Moon, Eddie K is in the house, Cosmic Zeal, and Gabriella F., Jackie Baby, who's one of my students in my July courses. How you doing, Jackie? Who else is in the house? All kinds of people are in the house. I want to call people that I've never called. David Hakes, Blue Rose is in the house. Who else is in the house? Project Skyfalls, Deborah Wees, and all 2,400 Jedis are in the house. Thank you so much, Susan K., for your donation. I appreciate that. For those that want to support my cause, I do take donations via my email, projectrestorationzion@gmail.com, projectrestorationzion@gmail.com. And that goes directly to, I guess, if you have Zelle, it works. For those that don't have Zelle, I do have a mailing address, and that mailing address is, where did it go?
Do you need me?
Yes, please. All right, I'll give you guys my mailing address in a bit. I thought I had it here in my notes, but apparently I don't have that anymore. I don't know what happened to it. Should still be here.
I'm writing it down.
All right, thank you. Meanwhile, I'm going to go take some questions. Let's see. Who's got questions for me? This is your chance. Make sure you write them in capital letters. Who created AI? Was it Enki? No, the original ancient AI was created in the 11th universe for about 360 billion years ago, almost 400 billion years ago. No, Enki didn't create AI. Enki just aligned with it. Enki just sided with it, as well as Lucifer, by the way. And that's why Lucifer fell. He was the father of all technology. Anyways, let's continue here. Oh, yeah. For those that don't have Zelle, I do have a mailing address. 1771 West State Route 89A, Suite B. My box number is 3015, Sedona, zip code 86336. And I'll also put that in the comments when I'm done with the live. I do want to thank Joyful for her super chat. Thank you so much. Super chats also do help out. Thank you for that. Not to mention your when you do a super chat, you know for sure you're going to get your questions answered. So Joyful is asking me, Ishmael, I researched on what star seed I could be, and it seems like I am Orion. Can you tell me a little bit about them? All right. One of the things that I teach in our cosmic origin class is the entire galactic history or cosmic history. But when we go into the galactic history, some of the, you could say, breakaway Lyrans, some of the refugees from Lyra actually went to the upper system of Orion. That's how Mintaka was eventually colonized, the watery world. Alnalink and Alnilam. Something is in the bottom making noise. I don't know what. Anyway, sorry about that, guys. My foot was playing footsie with something down there. And so the original Orion humans became the masculine Orions. They started establishing civilizations developing external technology while maintaining a high level of consciousness, like Christ consciousness. So they were able to balance things. So they were known as the physical humanoid Orions, or the Orion physical humans. And they lived in peace for a few 100,000 years until, of course, the Draco decided to enslave them. And then later, they are the ones that created the rebel resistance known as the Black League of Orion. And so that's a little bit about the Orion people. So that means, Joyful, that you have the spirit of rebellion. You hate fascism. You are totally for freedom. That's what that means. Because some of the Orion humans were the first to be enslaved. And this goes back to, again, millions of years ago. Alrighty, next question. Is it raining? It is, huh?
Yes.
Okay, I could hear the rain. Let's see. Thank you, Lily, for that super chat. She says, what are the origins of the videos on YouTube that say they are the Galactic Federation? Okay, I wanted to address that. I am so glad you brought it up. And play calming messages. Are they PSYOP? Okay, I think I know what you mean. There is this station on YouTube called GFL, Galactic Federation of Light. Well, this is my take. Okay, this is my take. That is not run by the Galactic Federation of Light. Okay, there is no Galactic Federation of Light. All right, they were known as the Galactic Federation of Worlds before they were compromised. Okay, so that is obviously run by some humans, perhaps star seeds, that are actually getting transmissions from galactics and are actually pretending like they are the Galactic Federation of Light with pictures and thumbnails, like say of Pleiadians or something, saying we have a channeled message, and then they put some soft music in the background and they say, greetings, Earthlings. This is Mira from the Galactic High Council of the Pleiades, something like that. That is not the Galactic Federation. Those are not the Galactics, guys. The Galactics don't use social media, okay? It's called the GFL station. Now, I had an opportunity to check out the GFL station, and I think they're good. I just think that they should just be a little bit more honest, instead of making people believe that they are really transmissions from the Galactic Federation of Light, because there is no such thing as the Galactic Federation of Light. So that's what I think. All right. So again, those messages are positive. I had a chance to listen to some of those messages. And they're all positive. They're all about the ascension. They're all about, the starseeds' responsibility, get ready to activate, get ready to inherit the new Earth. So a lot of those messages coming from the GFL station are actually good. Okay, but they're not galactics that are transmitting that. Again, these are probably star seeds that are getting the telepathic, or they're channeling the information, you could say. Now, I do have another super chat from Wolf Mother. Thank you so much. She says, Ishmael, Carol Ann, you send me the link for Ascension 2.0. I missed it. I was on Valpone Station. Carol Valpone. Okay. Go ahead and email me on through Project Restoration Zion and remind me to send you the link for class 4. That's going to be actually next week. So tomorrow is class 2. So I'll give you the link for next week. Thank you so much. Yes, the GFL are good channeled messages, guys. I didn't say that they were wrong, okay? But it's not the Galactics doing that. It's other people. It's people that are on Earth.
Do the question by Quad River. How did they take out the Red Queen?
Oh, I've already answered how they took out the Red Queen. It was through Operation Sentinel and Operation White Diamond Tesseract. What do you know about the Ka? Khaa. This is a question from Eddie Avila. Well, you must be referring to not the wind makers, but the, what are they called? The Ka is what we called the realms of eternity. There are so many names to describe what the Ka is. And according to cutting edge science, that is also known as base reality. Okay, everything else other than the Ka, which is equivalent to what scientists call dark energy, and it permeates all the cosmos. Dark matter is about 73% of the cosmos. Dark energy is about 23% of the cosmos, and it permeates everything. Okay, so there's dark energy and dark matter all around us. Therefore, the Ka is that 23% dark energy that permeates all of existence. It is the realms of eternity that still exist at the underlying level of reality. Capiche? Capiche. Right, next question. Ishmael, is the United States Babylon? This is a question from Martha Krabil. The USA Defunct Corp Inc. was Babylon, yes, but the Republic is not Babylon. Okay, so Babylon is USA Inc., which is the defunct deep state government. So that was Babylon. So yes, in a way, the old guard or the old deep state was Babylon, the swamp. Okay, but the Republic is not Babylon. All right, I'm going to share this because this is exactly how it's going to feel when the solar flash takes place and you ascend into your new light body. This is from Wolfie. She says, Ishmael, several years ago, I had a vision of where I was during the upcoming solar flash. I distinctly remember the sky vibrating and seeming electrified and vibrating. Your thoughts. That's exactly how it is. Your body feels like you converted into a current of energy. That's how much energy our bodies it's going to be flowing through us. Okay, so that's exactly the feeling of what it's going to feel like when we transform. Ishmael, when did the reptilians get here on Earth? This is a question from Sarah. Well, the reptilians did not originate in our universe. They came from another universe known as the Old Empire, which is, again, within the domain of the 11th creation where AI had its origin. So if you guys take our cosmic origin course, I mean, I give you guys the entire cosmic history going back to 900 billion years. I break down the entire cosmic infrastructure, the different levels of reality. It's deep, guys. It's deep. So a lot of that is going to be answered in my course, Our Cosmic Origin. For those that are just jumping on, my August courses are up for grab on Saturday and Sunday. Go to my website, or cosmicorigin.com, because I actually checked the website. The classes were only up for 2 hours and it's already above halfway. So it's almost filled and they fill up pretty quick. So make sure you guys go to my website and secure your spot. And again, guys, these classes are worth $500, $1,000, and I like to do them for only $100 because I like to make things affordable. All right, more questions. Ishmael, do you know why the animals are moving away from the Yellowstone? Thank you. I did address this in the last live, and I'll address it again because they feel like something big is going to happen. You have to understand, the animals are in tune with nature. Okay, so they know earthquakes before they happen. They feel cataclysms or catastrophe before it happens. They are literally in tune with nature. Not only are the animals fleeing, but even the birds are flying away from those regions. Okay, and this is happening all over the world, not just around Yellowstone. So the animals know that something's about to happen, and maybe what's going to happen is going to be triggered by the first flash. There will be some, Earth eruptions, you could say, during the first flash. But I want you guys to know that the Galactic Alliance is on it. Right? There is this interplanetary department that is, again, being run by the Alliance, where certain members of the Earth White Hat team are also part of it, where they're constantly monitoring the geophysical changes, okay, the volcanoes, the seismic activity, and so on and so forth. What time are my classes on Saturday and Sunday? Good question, Rhonda. I can check my website right now. I believe Saturday my classes are at 1 in the afternoon, which is 3 o'clock Eastern, and 3 in the afternoon, which is 6 o'clock Eastern. So those are on Saturday. On Sunday, my first class starts at 2 o'clock, which is 5 o'clock Eastern, and my second class starts at 4 o'clock Pacific, which is 7 o'clock Eastern. Oh, look, guys, I already put up my little picture of the lion head, and the knight protecting the house of the lion, the Orma race. It's pretty cool, huh? And I also want to acknowledge Jesus the Christ, Michael the Archangel, who is always with me, and my 3 books that are available on Amazon. Just to let you guys know, this book right here is where is it? This one right here. These two are the same. One is hardcover, and the other one is softcover. All righty, let's continue. This is a super chat from Greg. Thank you so much, Greg. He says, Ishmael, the lions were responding to you as if you were their shepherd. I felt that. They were very calm. The lion by the fence felt your spirit. Oh, yeah, that's true. His head tilted. I think he wanted me to pet him. That's why he was doing that with his head on the fence. But yeah, you're absolutely right. I didn't sense any aggression from the lions. I sensed brotherhood and sisterhood. Like they were just my brothers and sisters. And they come up to me really calmed. And yeah, we were communicating telepathically. I do have another super chat from Canadian Jedi. Any new news on the solar flash? Again, the solar flash, the first one is expected very, very soon. As to why the animals are fleeing certain areas because they know something's about to happen. So also understand that when this happens, those that are destined to shift into the new Earth will not be experiencing any of the catastrophes. We're going to be literally translated like going through a time portal, right? Like going through a jump room into the new Earth reality, okay? Where there are no catastrophes. So just remember that, guys. So we don't have nothing to worry about. Thank you, Stargate. I want to acknowledge you for always being here, for keeping the vibe high on the chat. And I do have another super chat from Georgia, Victoria Jean Hillstorm. She says, will our bodies be healed when we go through the flash? Absolutely. It's going to be spontaneous healing worldwide. And if we have had surgery organs gone, will they be back? No. Organs, yes. Like if you had like a liver or a kidney gone, yes, they're all going to be regenerated. So to answer your question, yes. I do have another question from Michael. Michael Jacobs, thank you so much for the super chat. He says, Ishmael, what can you share about the entity referred to as the Veil Continuum, which directs the activities of the Mimic Network? I have encountered this evil entity activity via chat. I've never heard of that name. I'm going to actually research that.
Say it again. What is it?
The Veil, Veil, Continuum, C-O-N, Continuum. Yeah. Have you heard of it? I haven't heard of it.
But I got something about this, the rip in the space-time continuum with trying to get the AI out of it.
All right, so he says he has encountered this evil entity activity via chat. Very important to stay away from AI chat, by the way, guys. All right, I'm strongly recommend that. Michael, I'm going to actually have to look into what Veil Continuum is, and then on the next live, which is what, Monday night White Hat Report, hopefully I'll address it then. Well, this is a good suggestion from Shauna. She says, "Do you have the option of adding a community tab to your YouTube page where your subscribers can interact with one another outside of the live stream?" Yeah, that is a great idea. So let me see if I can figure that out. So I could do that for you guys. No problem.
Did you get Canadian Jedi any news?
No. Hi, Ishmael. What do you know about the mantis beings? Recently, two appeared in one of my dreams, but I declined their invitation to meet with them due to apprehension. And then one was wearing a red jacket. Or this is a question from Carol. Is it Roenfeld? Hopefully, I said your last name right. Well, the mantis are those are the ones running the grays, right? They work hand in hand with the Dracos. Sometimes they have, you could say, sometimes they bump heads with the Dracos, but the mantis, for the most part, are negative. There are a small group of mantis that are good, but if they are appearing to you in your dreams, and then if you don't feel good about it, chances are that they are negative. So I would stay away from the mantis. Yeah, they're part of the insectoid sect of aliens. So they're like, they could be giant, they look like grasshoppers to me. I guess they have different forms, but yeah, I would stay away from them. Okay, Carol? And then always, Carol, put yourself in a like bubble of protection before you sleep at night. And that way you don't have visitations from negative beings.
They're kind of like doctors.
Yeah, the mantis
Yeah,
are
they're on the
they like
graves.
to experience with people genetically, so they are like doctors, but they're not good doctors, of course. They're part of the negative programs. Let's see who else is asking good questions. Well, thank you, Barbara Patrick, for that super chat. I appreciate that. Who's Aaron? I want to answer Aaron's question, but I don't find Aaron's question. Do you know what Aaron's question is?
I saw Canadian Jedi any news on the solar probe. Haven't seen it anymore.
Ishmael, are the ant people coming up from the inner earth? Well, again, the insectoids, some are benevolent and some are malevolent, positive and negatives, okay? Um, the ant people that you're referring to are actually benevolent. They're positive. They do live in harmony and in peace with the inner earth societies. And according to some of the natives, I don't know if it was the Hopi or I don't know who it was, but one of the native tribes um, talked about how they were actually introduced um, they were introduced to not appliances. What's the word I'm looking for? They were mentors to them. The ant people came out from the inner earth to help them like establish their civilization. And I don't know if they were the Hopi who talked about them, but yeah. Yeah, so I wouldn't use any technology. I wouldn't use Chat GPT or anything. And people out there who say that that stuff is good, again, you're contributing to the AI system. You're building the algorithm. You're feeding it information. So I would stay away from that. Um, Ishmael, what is happening when we feel not connected and seem like we are not part of this world, and then our minds bring us back here? That means that you are shifting, you're quantum shifting into different realities. That's what that means.
Canadian Jedi says he got a dream that he saw July 21st when he asked God to show him the date of when his solar flush would happen. And he asked any updates about it. Canadian Jedi
Oh, really?
wants to know
Updates on what?
the solar flush. Canadian Jedi.
Oh, I don't have any updates. All I know is that there's a reason why the animals are leaving certain places because
I have an update that the Mayan calendar that was supposed to end December 21st, 2021 is this year. And that's when the solar flush should happen this
Oh, I see.
December, but we'll get upgrades before then.
I'm going to take one more question. We are at the top of the hour in 30 minutes. All right, those ascending to 4D, will they be considered dead to the 3D? No, not at all. They're just going to disappear. Again, the 3D as we know it is coming to an end. There's going to be a new, refined, or you could say, a new type of 3D. But this one is coming to an end very, very soon.
This was the Aaron question. He says, I've been passing out or having seizures at least 2 times a week at work only for the past few weeks. Any clues?
You've been passing out or having seizures, Aaron. I have no clue as to why it's happening, brother. I would definitely go within yourself and ask your guides or connect to God and ask God what's going on with you.
I just want to say that the people that get seizures, sometimes they have an enormous amount of light energy that's coming into them. So if he passes out, he's probably just absorbing a lot of the sun's rays and just like he's getting maybe like quadruple the strength going through his chakras.
Oh, okay. Cool. Thank you for sharing that. Alrighty, guys. I guess I will see you guys in 2 nights for the Monday night Y-Hat update report. May the God Force be with you all. And I'll see you guys in 2 nights. One last super chat came in. I might as well just take it. I think that's already, I've already answered Michael Jacobs. All right, guys. Have a wonderful evening.